Morning, Mike.
Morning, buddy. How are you? Oh,
I'm all right, yeah.
good.
Who have you got this week? In fact, I know who you've got.
How do you
You've got Danny Barker, because I was talking to him yesterday.
He's got a big mouth. These are meant to be surprises. Here they come. This is the exciting bit. It's Danny Buckler.
What a surprise.
Wow. Who would have thought? Hello, everybody. How are you, boys?
Hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah.
Change the view to gallery so that we're all sort of on the same size. I know what people are seeing where they are. But yes, happy, where is it, Thursday? Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. I see you took your first cruise booking today.
I bloody did. Yes, booking's come through. My first actual booking for over a year came through. Now, it's not until 2022.
Oh, right, okay.
So there's still a good 14 months to go and anything could happen. But just having like a date in the diary thank you. There's light at the end of this tunnel at least. Even if it's only a false hope, it's still there, you know.
Did they reverse the charges?
Hey, did they reverse the charges?
Excellent. So, how you been, buddy? You been busy apart from the cruise booking?
The one cruise job in 2 years' time. Apart from that, I'm rushed off. The diary's rammed. No, Have I been busy? I've not been busy, but I've been busy with. I have been busy, but not with
Busy
I've done a couple of Zoom shows.
Busy doing nothing.
Busy doing nothing. I've been doing some writing though for a mate. A mate of mine is on the telly.
Right.
He's got his own show on Dave, so I've been writing with him on that. So that's been keeping me my brain alive at least.
Right.
Are you going to tell anybody who your mate is?
I don't know, but they'll know. If you know who I am, you know who it is. It's not a secret, but I'm not trying to give it like, you know, Charlie.
No.
But my contribution is so minimal, you know. It's not, but it is nice to have something to do.
He's on one of your podcasts.
He's on one of my live streams, yeah. On the.
So if you want to find out who the person is we're talking about, check Danny's podcasts.
Yeah, Instagram Live it is. I mean, I've been doing that. I've been doing the Danny Buckler Show live on Instagram.
Yeah, watched a few. We watched a few.
I've had magicians on, comedians, and yeah, that's been good fun. That's just been like again, to keep your brain awake and try and, you know, keep people entertained through the lockdown. But it's interesting because I'm seeing the viewing figures going down now because things are starting to open up. So it's quite nice. Do you know what I mean? No, it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm losing view. It feels like, all right, this little phase is coming to an end, and there's.
So most of your viewers have been made up of school children because they're the only people that have gone back.
Students. Yeah.
Students, yeah.
I rang the agent up and said, who have you got for the Christmas show this year? Who's the singer? The female singer. He said, Bassy. I said, Shirley Bassey. He said, no, it's Deirdre Bassey. But she's very good. I said, who's the male singer? He said, Bublé. I said, Michael Bublé. He said, no, Bublé. But he's very good. So who's the magician? He said, Blaine. I said, David Blaine. He said, no, Jimmy Blaine. He's very good. So who's the comedian? He said, Buckler. I said, Danny Buckler. He went, yeah, that's him. I am Danny's love child.
And I said, yeah, I'm older than I look. And then that was it's dead now, mate. You've screwed the timing of the thing. See, we know what we're doing. That was like ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. And then you come in with all this, oh, there's a plane going over. And now the thing's dead. You know, in the water. Like, you can't explain in comedy. It happens. It's in the moment. It's like jazz.
Wow.
You try and dissect it, Mike. You've lost everything. We met. I don't even know if Wayne remember. The first time we met, I was a child.
Was it Guildford?
Guildford, yeah. It was what happened was I was about 14 years old, and
Wow.
and I just started going to pubs. And in this, as everyone does at 14 in the 80s, I mean, in the 80s, that's what happened. Seriously, I'm not making this up. Like most kids had, like, you know, racing drivers and footballers on their walls, and I had Wayne Dobson posters up. I'm serious.
Cool.
And
With holes in them.
yeah. He had like a black baseball cap on because they were cool then, with a kind of magic on it, a kind of magic polo shirt, really pale, cool, like 80s jeans that were a little bit off the ankle because that was the style then, with the white, like Bros with the white socks, and then the black velvet brogues.
Yeah.
So at the time, that was as cool as it got. You know what I mean? That was like proper, like cutting edge gear. And he had a cigarette on because you were allowed to smoke then. And he had a cigarette on, and he had a clip pad, and he was looking. It was like whatever his day's schedule was. He was looking at it like this, stomping along. No mobile phones then, interestingly enough.
No.
So yeah, just walking along, and then he walked past, and he went, "You all right, mate?" As he went past me, and I'm like, "Oh, it's Wayne Dobson." And we went in and did the radio interview. He did the radio interview, and I just sort of sat there grinning, like watching the whole thing happen. And I was just trying to think of something to say that wasn't like really naff, because you know, like when you don't want to say something, you know, awful, but or boring. And I said, I remember they had these tables in front of us with like velvet on, and I was desperate to say something and couldn't think of anything to start the chat. So I just sort of went, "Oh, these tables would make great close-up tables, right, Wayne?" That's sort of the naffest thing you could possibly say. And he sort of went, "Yeah." Back to the interview, like, he said, "Do you do the cups and balls?" And I said, "No, I don't." And he said, "Learn the cups and balls. That's a powerful weapon. And you want to learn the Di Vernon routine. Don't settle for any others. Get the Di Vernon routine. It's a pan flip, and learn the cups and balls, because that will teach you everything you need to know about magic and timing and stuff." And I did, in fact, I did, because that the following October, it was Dealer's Day, my first ever Dealer's Day for the Magic Circle. I went to that, and that's what I bought. I bought a set of cups and balls and that Di Vernon pan flip.
Yeah.
And I went, "Can you show me a trick, please?" And I had this weird deck of cards, and he did a sandwich trick for me.
Okay.
You know, like, which now is sort of like a standard packet trick, but a standard sandwich trick. But then, because I'm going back, you know, a good 30 something years here.
Yeah.
And that was when that was new. If you could imagine, you've never seen a sandwich trick before. You know what I mean? Because it was still a new thing. It was like, so it was like, it'd be the equivalent of seeing something really new now then, you know. So he did this sandwich trick for me that fooled me badly like this. And then he did a coin vanish for me.
Right.
Because I said, "Do you do any coin tricks?" He goes, "I just do a couple." And he did a coin vanish. And he wouldn't explain it either. I would go, "How's that done?" And he went, "It just, well, I can show you what the vanish was. Do you want to see it?"
Yeah.
It was like it was an unusual one. It was this weird. It's not. I mean, it was like very, very 80s coin magic. This.
Yeah.
And it was this one.
Ah.
I mean, there's better ways. I mean, there's other ways of doing that, but that's what he did for me.
Yeah.
But at the time, I'd never seen coin magic before. So at the time, that was like as good as the only vanishes I'd ever seen were like French drops and things.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, how do you do that? How does that happen? How does that work?" And when just went, "It just works." You get out like that, just. And then I went and he gave me tickets to see the show. Me and my mum. So that was the Saturday morning, and I think we went that night. He came out. It started with this. It was a dancer dressed as Merlin in a mask.
Yeah.
Doing the ping pong, the prayer sticks, but also doing break dancing while he was doing it.
Yeah.
And it was Wayne's voice in the voiceover, like recorded, doing a rap. I can't remember the date, but it was something like, you know, your magical compare. That's me. I'm going to do it. When I pull the low goes high and the high goes low, which at the time was like, again, this is cutting edge. This is the 80s. So this was like as good as it got. Do you know what I mean? And this guy's doing his pong with Wayne's voice, doing the break dancing. And I'm saying to my mum, I didn't know he could break dance as well. He could do anything, Wayne Dobson. I'm like 14 years old. He could do anything, Wayne Dobson. Look, he can break dance as well. This guy's doing the splits. And I had no idea it weren't him. And it was a dancer because it was his voice.
Yeah.
Just a bloke, just a dancer in a mask. Go and do this trick. It works itself. You wibble the things. Just go out and do that. Play my voice. Dobson's at the back with a beer and a fag on. Let me know when it's my time. We ready for you, Wayne? Oh, they're crawling in the back of this illusion to appear. So, hold that. I'll be back in 5 minutes. He did, and it was illusions for the first half. It was Slicer.
Yeah.
It was
Wow. Yeah.
and it was all Vangelis.
Yeah, he loved Vangelis.
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 So it was all, you know, now it's time for a Slicer.
Independent.
Gets in the box, goes up like the concertina, comes back down. He's got 4 dancing girls with him, a couple of dancing boys. When the boys started dancing, my brain started to go, oh, I see, it weren't really Merlin. I'm so tumbled. There appears to be some athleticism on display from other people that could have put that mask on.
Except Wade.
Yeah, one of the people on this stage is not moving like a dancer. Guess which one it is. But in the second half, this is what was interesting to me. Even then, my child's brain. I'm 14 years old. I've never been on stage in my life at this point. Outside of school, do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And but even I knew at this age that this was not how it was normally done. Because every book I read about magic was always like you build up, because they were beginners books. I'm 14. They're like, but they all said you build up to your biggest trick, and then that's what you close on, your biggest trick.
Yeah.
Which is a mistake that magicians make to this day, because your biggest trick is not necessarily your best one. And I've seen proper professional, famous names that you would know still making this mistake of closing on the biggest thing when it's the weakest piece, but you can't get through to them.
Yeah.
They'd have a stronger show if they closed on this, even though it's smaller, it's stronger. And Wayne was the first person I saw with his head screwed on in this way, because the second half was the stronger half, and it had the least magic in it. Because it was the show. It was the 45 minutes. It was the hour. It was what he'd done his whole life. It was the 2 guys from the audience with the sponge balls and the noting wallet.
Yeah.
There was a card trick involved, and the voices.
Yeah.
And that was the second half. And it was the strongest thing and the first half was strong. I'm not dissing it off, but the second half, I have never seen an audience move like that live. Rarely seen it since, because the laughter, it wasn't comedy club laughter. It wasn't theatre laughter. It was mates in the pub laughter. You know, when you're laughing with your mates in the pub and there's 4 of you, you've been mates your whole life, and you're having a crack, and no one else will ever get it. It's just the thing that you 4 have done. It's something, and you're holding your sides, and your stomach hurts. You can't breathe, and it's like your own private world, and nobody on the outside gets what's going on. Just you 4. That kind of real gutsy, like it feels like a reset for your brain laugh. Because when it's done, you feel like you've had Control Alt Delete and you've got no problems. You know what I mean? It's one of those.
Yeah, I know.
It was that sort of laugh. There were people literally. They rolled in the aisles. They literally did. I saw 4 people couldn't stay in their seats from laughing. They got up out of their seats. They couldn't. There was so much energy. They couldn't sit still. And one of them, I remember a bloke. I remember it so clear. He's getting off his chair and dropping to his knees in the aisle, laughing. I was laughing. My mum was like tears, like when it hurts. That kind of. It was that level of. And I've very rarely seen a performer do that since. He closed with Ashra. I'm not an illusions guy. I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong. Azra. Right. Okay. That's the one thing I'm still not very on is illusion. I keep it that way on purpose because it's the one thing I can still watch and not know how it's done. And it's like I'd like to keep that. But he closed on that, and then the wizard came back at the end to bring it full circle.
Yeah.
So then this break dancing wizard came on, and then Wayne laid down, and he floated up. It was Phil Collins. Find a way to my heart. Find a way to my heart. And then he vanished. And then the wizard took his mask off, and Wayne was the wizard at the end.
When we went to Magic in the Rockies.
And then about a year later, we went to Magic in the Rockies together.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's one convention I wished I had been around for, but it was a long while before.
That was brilliant. That was a time.
I did that gag at night with Williamson.
Oh, Charlie, yes, Charlie Fry.
He was there. That's where I met Charlie. Charlie Fry was. That's where I met Charlie. That convention.
Yeah, with that gag with the wheelchair and the remote control. Yeah.
And that's just what I'm done. The backstage crack at that. If you could imagine, like being in the wings, and it was me, Wayne, Charlie Fry, and David Williamson.
Yeah.
Who was on that? Eric Mead was on
Wow.
doing bits and bobs. Luke Germain wasn't on, but he was there, and he was doing.
Daniel Garcia.
Daniel Garcia was there.
Yeah.
Luke was doing amazing stuff in the bar. What's his name? Barry Mindreader.
Richardson.
He was still alive. Yeah, he did some stuff in the bar. It was incredible. I got to see Bob. Not Bob. Sheets.
Bob Sheets.
Bob Sheets was there. We did get to see Bob Sheets. We saw Bob Sheets and Doc Eason do a bar show. Yeah. That was amazing. And then Eric B jumped on that. It was all great stuff happening. And then Wayne's lecture was going to be his lecture was on the Sunday, the day of the show. So he was just sort of hanging out before that, but it was such a blissful time.
Oh, fantastic. Right, well, thank you very much, Danny. We're going to come to the end. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
And to you boys, thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
Good luck with your YouTube channel. We'll put it in the...
Oh, yeah, the Danny Buckler Show on YouTube. Give that a sub.
Yeah, we'll put the link in our comments on this episode so that...
If you like a YouTube channel with no consistency to the content whatsoever, so sometimes you'll get an interview, sometimes you'll get me talking about Batman, sometimes it's a funny story. Do you know what I mean? It just depends on the mood I'm in on
Batman's
the day.
Good, I like Batman.
If you like, rants and things, come along.
Brilliant. Okay, so, well, thank you for watching once again. And remember to make sure you subscribe. Make sure that you hit that notification button so that you get the latest episodes. Also, leave any comments. Loads of likes. We love you all. Take care, guys. Be safe. Bye-bye. So everybody say goodbye.
Bye.